right? So we continue. So you write less payments. So from what we have there, we have salaries, which is 2,700. Then telephone, we have 550. Then rent and rates, 1,800. Then sundry expenses, 700. So let's find the total for the payments. 0 there. We have 5, 7 plus 5, we get 12, 12 plus 7, 12 plus 8, 20 plus 7, 27, then 2 plus 2, 4 plus 1, 5. Okay. So we can subtract this one from 11,450. We have 0, 0, 14 minus 7, we have 7. Then this is 0 becomes 10, 10 minus 5, we have 5. Okay. So after you have calculated that, you should at this stage add any asset that is in the question. So from this question, we have got 2 assets. We have cash at bank, which is 3,200. We also have cash in hand, 150. So down here you can write add, okay. And then we have cash at bank, okay, 3,200. Then we have cash in hand, 150. Okay, so this gives us 3,350. 3,350. Okay, so if we add there, we get 0, 5, get 10, carry 1, 6, 9. Okay, so we have 9,050 kwacha. So this is how you prepare a receipts and the payments account. So from here, we'll also prepare, using the same information, we'll prepare the income and the expenditure account. So let's see how we can prepare the income and the expenditure account. Alright, so let's see how we can prepare the income and expenditure account using the same information. Okay, so we have the title, income, and the expenditure account. So for the income and the expenditure account, here you write income. Okay, you write income. Now, the incomes for this question are similar to what we had here on the receipts. Okay, so you have subscriptions. Subscriptions, we had 10,500. Then donations, we had 600. Then bank interest. For bank interest, we had 350. Okay, so when you add these, you get 11,450. Then you say less expenditure. Less expenditure, then underline. So the expenditure that we had is similar to the payments that we had here. We have salaries. Okay, salaries 2,700. Then telephone 550. Then rent and rates, we 1,800. 1,800. Then sundry expenses. Okay, sundry expenses 700. 700. Okay, so the total was giving us 5,750. 5,750. Okay, then when we subtract here, we're getting 0, 0, 7 there, then 5. So with this one, you end here. You don't include the assets. So what you have here is what we refer to as the surplus of income over expenditure. Surplus of income over expenditure. Surplus of income over expenditure, which is equivalent to the net profit for profit-making organizations. All right, so we have prepared the receipts and payments account. We have also prepared the income and the expenditure account. What about the balance sheet? We know that a balance sheet is a statement that shows assets and the liabilities of a business. Okay, so in the balance sheet for these non-profit making organizations, there is just one item that is going to be different a bit. So for profit making organizations, the resources that are used or invested in the business are known as capital. Whilst for non-profit making organizations, that capital is referred to as accumulated fund. So when it comes to writing the accounting equation, where there is capital, you just replace it with the accumulated fund. All right, so let's see how we can calculate accumulated fund using the question that we have here. So we are saying the following information was in the books of Kasi Social Club on 1st January 2021. So we have cash in hand 5,600, subscription in advance on this date 2,250, subscription in arrears on the same date 3,100, buy expenses owing on the same date 1,300, equipment also on the same date, that is 1st January 2021, 7,000. And the question is calculate the club's accumulated fund as at 1st January 2021. So how you prepare the accumulated fund? You start with assets. Okay, you start with assets. So looking at what we have been given here, the assets. Okay, let's start with equipment following the order of permanence. We have equipment. Equipment is 7,000. Then we also have cash in hand. Deliberately I've picked on cash in hand so that I explain on the subscriptions. Cash in hand is 5,600. Okay. Now we have subscription in advance and subscription in arrears. So with the non-profit making organizations, what happens is that when you are starting a year, members are expected to pay their subscriptions in advance before they enjoy the services. So if it is January 1, all members are expected to pay. Okay? Now, since they have paid in advance, the subscriptions to the club becomes a liability. So when you are preparing a balance sheet, subscription in advance should be written under current liabilities. Now, since those members who may not pay as you are starting a new year, but they will be enjoying the services of the club as the months go by. Okay, so if you reach the end of the year, those members, whether they like it or not, since they are members of the club or the organization, they are expected to pay. So the monies that they are owing the club, that money belongs to the club. Therefore, subscription in arrears becomes an asset to the club. So when you're preparing a balance sheet, subscription in arrears should be written under current assets. So in this case, subscription in arrears will fall under assets. Then subscription in advance will fall under liabilities. Okay, so here we can have subscription in arrears. Okay, so subscription in arrears, we have 3,100. Okay, so we can add these figures. We have 0, 0, 7, then 10, 15. Okay, so we have 15,700. Okay, then you write less liabilities. Okay, less liabilities. So for liabilities, okay, we have, as I explained, we have subscription in advance. Subscription in advance, okay, which is 2,250. Then we also have bar expenses owing. It is a liability. Okay, bar expenses owing, which is 1,300. Okay, so if we add this, we are getting 0, 5 there, 5 also there, then 3. Okay, so let's subtract. We have 0, there we get 5, there's 6 here, we get 1, there is 2, then there is 1. So we have 12,150. This amount is what is known as accumulated funds. Okay, accumulated fund at start of the year or at the beginning of the year. Okay, so this is how you calculate the accumulated fund when you are starting your year. In the balance sheet, when preparing the balance sheet, after you have written the fixed assets, you have written current assets, you have written current liabilities, then there is a part that finances all those activities above, where you write financed by. For profit-making organizations, we write financed by capital. But for this topic, where there is capital, we'll be writing accumulated fund. So the accumulated fund that you indicate there is this one as your opening capital. Okay, so accumulated fund will fall under financed by. So this is how you prepare how you calculate the accumulated fund. In our next lesson, we'll look at a question so that we see how we can prepare a full question on final accounts to do with non-profit making organizations. For now, it's bye.